And we are live from Charlotte Motor Speedway, race number 2 of round 2 of the final 6. We're ready to go racing. Got Alex up here in the booth with me.
Good
Alex,
evening, folks.
how's it going?
Oh, it's not too bad. I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite excited for tonight.
I am as well with everything we got going on. It's definitely going to be one to watch. Charlotte, one of the best mile and a halves, especially in this Xfinity car, one of the harder mile and a half. So that's what makes it fun to watch. And I'm excited to see what everybody goes as we see Kyle way sideways here in practice. Same thing with Matt. He's going to drift it, maybe a little 360. He's going to put her in the wall, 360. Nope, saves it. No, he's done. And Kyle gives him a kiss. So we got everybody in here. Kale's actually running this one. Matt's in here. Jake, newcomer into the league as well. So we're going to have about a 15, 16 car field tonight. So that one's going to be fun to watch. See Cade Ferguson in this blue paint scheme with the stripes. I like that a lot. I'm excited for all the paint schemes. The paint schemes are one of the best for, especially this weekend, Memorial Day. Memorial Day was yesterday, so everybody's got their patriotic schemes out. And it's cool to see everybody in them. See if we go down pit road if anybody's still got theirs on. Mikey's got a new one. Tiller, I like Tiller's scheme. Tiller's schemes always look good. He always got a new one up there, so good job by Tiller. So Alex, for Charlotte with 30 seconds left before qualifying, what are you expecting to see tonight?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm expecting a lot of good racing tonight. Just like you mentioned before, this is honestly probably one of the best mile and a halves on the entire NASCAR schedule. It's personally one of my favorite, if not my favorite mile and a half. Like I said, I think a lot of good racing tonight. We got a lot of strong guys in the field. Obviously, we're onto the last 2 races of the season, so I think a lot of guys are going to be pushing hard to try to make up as many points as possible and hopefully push for a championship next week. So yeah, I'm excited to see what we got tonight.
Yeah, and we'll keep you guys updated on the point situation going on now. I will pull that up on the screen here in about 2 seconds. But with that being said, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, there is the point situation. So Nathaniel with 262, Jared Lindsay with 254, matched with Mazzella. We have a playoff implications. Jared Lindsay not able to make it to this race, so he is going to be out essentially, but tied for that second spot with him is Jonathan Mazzella, who I believe is not here. So that also sucks for Mazzella not being here. Kyle Ritchie is here, though, and he's got the same points, so just a little bit deficit. And then a little bit further back is Randy Arms and Ryan Tiller. So they're going to be having to work their butts off to get there. His first one down on the apron is Ryan Tiller leading the field to qualifying here. But there's the point situation heading into it. So a little bit of a jumble up as 2 guys aren't here, which sucks for the points. But anything can happen with this playoff format. So these guys are getting ready to go for qualifying. Let's see what they got. Ryan Tiller, one of the playoff guys, he's going to go fast into turn number 1. Will he run the top or the bottom? He's going to run that top lane. One thing that I noticed from a lot of these guys is that top lane in 1 and 2, bottom 3 and 4 for that raw speed of a lap. Down the back straightaway he goes. Should run the bottom here. He's going to run that top side, so interesting strategy. Possibly just thinks tires are better on the second lap. Tiller to complete his lap. It's going to be a 1-2 for Kale. First one to set a lap, it's going to be a 0-6 or a 6-0 for Tiller. We got Kyle Ritchie pulling out of the pits now. The man himself, our in-race reporter, Mikey Adams here. So he goes into turn 1. We'll get a word in with him during our green flag run. He can kind of talk us through what to do at Charlotte Motor Speedway from a driver's point of view. You know, all these drivers are really talented, and he's one of the best out here. So from inside the car, he'll give us a nice in-car report, as he's doing a pretty solid job here in qualifying. Points leader just went Nathaniel Landwehr. Actually, no, not top of the board. I thought he did get it, but he ran a 3-0 that lap. So on the struggle here. Nathaniel not top of the board. Josh Thaxton, I believe that's how you say it. His first race with us in that 19 machine. Oh, into the wall possibly. Nathaniel not going to be able to improve. He's going to be set back. Josh there completes his lap. He runs a 1-3. Michael Davis with a 1-6-2. What a qualifying we're having so far. So Josh, first race, looking pretty sporty. What are you seeing through qualifying, Alex?
Just as you mentioned that, Kyle Richards decides to
Ooh,
take the provisional pole with a 31-0. Great time by him to take it from your brother Kale there. And just like you mentioned before, seen a lot of guys run the top in 1 and 2, and I believe, funny enough, I think Kyle actually ran the bottom or the top in 3 and 4 that lap. I'll just go back and look for you. No, I'm a liar. He ran the bottom. But just like you said before, top 1 and 2, 3 and 4 on the bottom seems to be the move right now. It seems to allow these guys to get all the speed they can. And a track like this, a very high speed track, carrying momentum is such an important thing here. We can see, so far you can tell right now a lot of the guys in the top 5 seem to have found that speed.
well, Matt runs a 1-6-3. Will he be able to improve? He's going to run the bottom. No, it doesn't look like it. Second lap will not be better. Thought one would do it. It was not. One guy that I thought would be able to do it. But I mean, look how many people we have in the ones. We have 6 people within 600ths of a second. Almost half a tenth. 6 drivers are. And just behind them, between Kevin, Jake, Nathaniel, Tiller, all them are within a tenth. So everybody's still really close here in qualifying. As we're getting ready for the race, one of the guys to look out for, as I bring up those points once again, top of the board is Nathaniel at 262, and the guy that is tied for second is on the pole. So starting ninth, points leader on the pole is the driver in the 76, Kyle Ritchie. So, well, that being said, good qualifying for Kyle, bad qualifying for Nathaniel. How much is that going to hurt him, do you think, coming into the race?
I mean, I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. I know we have a little bit of a smaller field tonight, so who knows whether or not him starting, like I said, in ninth is going to be much of an effect. It is pretty easy to pass here from my own personal experience, and if you can get on the inside, especially in 1 and 2, you're more than likely going to make the pass. So um, wouldn't be surprised to see him move through the field pretty quickly. I mean, we've seen him dominate a lot of these races and make his way through the field with no issue. So yeah, starting ninth, I don't think it's going to be too much of a setback for him, but we'll see how it plays out. We got a lot of competitive guys up in the top 10 right now, so we'll see if he can push through that quick.
Yeah, and with that being said, the field is set for them to grid. So as we get them onto the grid and ready to roll off, I thought it was the front straightaway, but for some reason now the update, they moved them back to pit road. So, Alex, go ahead and give us our field and rundown of the starting lineup.
Right, well, starting off number 1, the 76 of Kyle Ritchie taking the pole with a 30.10. Very impressive time from him. Looking to try to improve his chances at a championship next weekend. And as his outside runner is Cale McClenny, the brother to my co-commentator here, newcomer Josh Thaxton with a very impressive time of 30.13, taking the 3rd place spot. Randy Arms in 4th. Michael Davis, pretty impressive time from him as well, starting up at the top 5. Matt Frady, TTSL teammate to Kyle Ritchie. Go ahead, Gabe.
One thing I will say, Michael, every qualifying has been very good in qualifying, just doesn't have the raw long speed to hold it. But Michael Davis, every time in qualifying, is very quick.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do here. Starting 5th, great spot for him. And like I said before, Matt Frady down in 6th, TTSL teammate to Kyle Ritchie. We'll see if he has any impact tonight on the rest of the field. Kevin Ritchie, excuse me, in the 7th position, brother to Kyle Ritchie. We'll see if he has anything to do tonight. We've seen him get involved in some action the last couple of weeks as we have the number 30 of Jake Goro down in 8th position. Your championship leader, Nathaniel Landwehr, in 9th, looking to make his way through the field. Ryan Tiller, sort of starting back in 10th, currently sits 6th in points right now, I believe, last. So we'll see whether or not he can bring himself up towards the front of the field. And Mikey Adams down on 11th, our in-race race reporter for us. We'll see what he could do tonight. Cade Ferguson down in 12th. Jonathan Schwartz down 13th. Landon Quisenberry 14th. Michael Cochrane, the last qualifier, down in 15th, with Sam Demian in 16th, not setting a qualifying time.
And that is the field rundown. So as these boys are getting ready to go green, coming off of pit road, it's going to be 125 tonight. Stage is at 50. These boys, I'm not sure if they are able to make it on fuel. Nobody was able to go for that long of a run in practice. So pace car lights are out. We're coming to the green for race number 2 in round 2 of the playoffs. Alex, what do you think? Is it going to be a green, white, checker finish, 3 wide at the line like Texas, or are we going to have a long run and see who's the best coming down the end?
I think it's going to be fun today. Let's call it a nice 3 wide finish. Maybe we'll see some backwards action like we saw in Texas a couple weeks ago.
I think there's a pretty good chance of it. So, pace car is ready to make that left-hand turn down pit road as they're coming off of turn 4. You see the green in the hands of the flagman. Kyle Ritchie and Kel McClinney going to lead them to the green. Race number 2 of round 2 is green. See, the outside line did not get a good restart there. Doesn't look like it has the raw speed through 1 and 2. Cale McClinney's going to drop back. That moves Josh into the second spot. Ooh, Cale way loose there in the center of the corner. Everybody just trying to make them way through the field, kind of complete their first few laps of the race so far. Right now, it's Kyle Ritchie out front.
Yeah, great move by Kyle. Got himself a great start to lead out into turn 1. As we see Josh Thaxton, like you said, take the second position pretty quickly. And like you mentioned before, Cabe, 1 and 2 and up on top doesn't look amazing right now. It's going to be a pretty big factor, especially with dirty air, whether or not they can actually keep it up there and carry all the momentum.
And everybody in 3 and 4 so far on the bottom, but 1 and 2, we'll see everybody kind of, as Cade got in the wall there. Shouldn't hurt him too bad, but we'll see everybody on the bottom in 3 and 4, 1 and 2. It's kind of wherever the car in front of you isn't. Right now, we know the top is going to burn a little bit more tire, and that's what Cale McClinney's doing up on the top lane, side by side with Josh for second now. He's going to have a little bit of momentum. Can he get to outside of Kyle in 3 and 4? He's going to drive it in deep. Side by side for the lead now. Off of turn 4, a little tight. Well, we're seeing the different strategies, Alex, play out. Who is going to be the one to go and say, screw it, tires are not going to be worth it later. Let's just go for the run. And Kale's trying to take the lead early.
Yeah, we see it playing out so far. It's like you mentioned, the top, or you kind of want to be wherever the guy in front of you isn't. Like I mentioned before, that dirty air is going to play a big factor in a tire wear and how fast you're going to be and how quickly you kill off your tires. Especially running that top line, you're turning a lot more than you are on the bottom, so you're going to use those tires up just a bit more. But will it make much of a difference if you aren't running directly behind a guy? So we'll see if that makes any difference, whether or not the top over time will hurt as bad as running a dirty air will be.
Yeah, and we're seeing it now play out. Nathaniel really not gaining much right now at the moment. I don't think he's even gained a spot so far. So either he is, he's still, as you look in the bottom left-hand corner, one guy that is making his way through the field is that 58 of Jonathan Schwartz. Charging hard, up 9 spots at the line that time, up to 4th. So Jonathan Schwartz making time. He's on that top line in 1 and 2, trying to make the move on Josh for 3rd. He's going to have it middle of the back straightaway. He's going to have a nose on him into 3 and 4. So interesting. Kyle in 2nd. Lost the lead to Kale. Probably going to lose 2nd here as he's going to be conservative on the bottom. Swartz going to try to roll the outside, but one guy that's having to make his way through the field as he's up underneath Cade now is Nathaniel. Working the bottom lane. We've seen it. He's one of the best on the long run. And that's what's prevailed him in a lot of races. We saw that at Rockingham. We saw it at Homestead. And we're seeing it possibly once again here at Charlotte.
Yeah, I do think that, I mean, while he is not really trying to move himself to the field. I do think he is trying to play it a little bit conservative right now. Long run's going to be really important here. Like I said, tire wear is going to be huge here, especially on the long run. If you're one of the guys that can keep your tires cool and calm and collected throughout your run, you've got a way better shot of at least gaining a little bit of time throughout the run as opposed to somebody who's pushing like Schwartz, already up 11 or 12 spots from his starting position. So, yeah, could be one of the guys right there who's just saying, screw it. I got plenty of tires to play with, and he's going to try to push his way to the lead.
Yeah, and he's making the most of it right now, trying to run down the leader, Kel McClinney, at the moment. But we've seen this all season long. It's about, from personal experience and being on top of the box for a few drivers this week here at Charlotte, and just knowledge of Charlotte Motor Speedway. Tires seem to be pretty good. They hold up for about the first 10, possibly 15 if you're able to get away with it. But around 20, 25, they really fall on their face. So we'll see at what point the tire fall off comes into play, and when Kel and Schwartz possibly start dropping back, or if they're able to save it just enough to where they're able to just kind of pull away and run where they are. Let's run on board with Schwartz for a lap here. So he's in the tire tracks of Kel, kind of right around that seam, not up by the wall yet. Last time by was 2/1000ths of a second quicker than Kel. Into 3 and 4. Kel's on the seam. Schwartz going to try to stay out of the clean air, and you see him try to keep that nose out of line with Kel, so he's in the clean air and not lined up with him. Has a little bit of air on the nose. That time by was a 9-1 for Kel and a 9-4 for Schwartz. And just behind them, Kyle Ritchie. Let's listen to his throttle input as he's trying to just nice and slow on the bottom, saving his tire. You can hear it a lot less throttle with him being on the bottom. A lot less throttle being used. So Kyle starting to reel him back in now. So on top of it, then looking out back, everybody pretty much the top all the way back to 7th. From 3rd to 7th, everybody's on the bottom of 1 or 2. The only 2 that are on the top are the 2 leading the field. Look who's made his way up into P7 as, possibly contact with the wall off of 4. Maybe Randy or Nathaniel. I couldn't really see, but Nathaniel has finally worked his way back up here.
Yeah, it's like I mentioned before, those tires could start coming into play midway through this run. We're about 13 laps in so far, so this is kind of the turning point. Whether or not people have pushed or saved tire or not, this is where we're going to see who was able to keep their tires just a little bit less worn down than everybody else. We can see it from Landwehr already, moving up just 2 spots from starting position, but is starting to gain time on the front of the field. And you can see it here. Kel is starting to lose a little bit of time to second place Jonathan Schwartz, as Kyle Ritchie's going to peek underneath him and see if he can make a move on the outside or the inside going into the backstretch.
Yeah, and they're going to be close. The top 4 on their blanket now. And they're going real fast and real left here as we're working lap 14, but the top 4 are really close together now. This next 4, I'm assuming 4 to 5 laps, we're going to see a different leader. I don't know who's it going to be. And it's probably going to be a multiple lead changes, but right now, these 4, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, 1 went, 2 burned up tires. Who knows at the moment, but this is turning into a good one right here. Only 15 laps in.
Yeah, would it be surprised, like I said, if we see a new leader with the next couple of laps? Could be the 76 Kyle Ritchie or the 19 of Josh Thaxton. Wouldn't be surprised to see either one of them, considering they've seemed to be the 2 guys who played it a little bit safe, running the bottom and not burning up their tires too much, as Kyle Ritchie's going to go for the lead.
He's going to go for the lead, and he's going to be clear in the center, kind of wash up possibly just a little bit. Kel's going to be in dirty air. I was just going to say it, down the front straightaway, you could run the top even on a little worse tire and hold them off for a few laps on the bottom, but with that top lane being the dominant lane, that doesn't seem to be happening, as Josh is going to go up the hill, make a little bit of contact, but they're going to keep it clean, but move Kyle Ritchie to the lead on lap 16. I'm trying to say back to lead.
Yeah, it looks like those tires are starting to work out pretty well for him. Like I said, been pretty conservative the first 10 laps, and you can see how well it pays off, starting to create a pretty big gap. And As you can see, the 19 is Josh Thaxton fighting with Cale McClenny, who probably he's going to hit the wall a little bit going into 3 here. Most likely burned his tires up on the top just a little bit more than everybody else. So you can see here, especially on the exit, Josh Thaxton gets a great run and is able to
Here
keep
comes
himself in front.
Swartz, though. Swartz with a big run. He's been driving through this whole field doing the same kind of strategy that Kel was. He's dropped back, but now he's able to get by Kel. So move Kel back into the 4th spot. Swartz into 3rd. Kel's going to try to fight him back down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and while we're talking about all this, look who's peaked up in a 6th place. Your points leader, Nathaniel Lynn. We're starting to catch this lead pack, and we could see him and Randy Arms join this fight pretty soon here.
Yeah, these two. Randy had a bad race last race. Unfortunate what happened at Rockingham with a little bit of contact. Didn't have the finish he needed to be competitive to fight it with these last 2 races, but there's still an opportunity. Anything could happen. He's going to try to keep Nathaniel behind him as well as he can. Just behind them. Good run for Landon here. Landon Quisenberry holding off Matt Frady. Matt not having a good run. One of the guys that we've seen dominate a lot during Phoenix and earlier in the season, especially on the short tracks. Just struggling tonight, it looks like, as we've got a lot going on up front here.
Yeah, got 2 pretty big battles going on right now. One for the lead and one for 7th position. Like I said before, you can see Randy Arms and Nathaniel Lynn were both running the bottom, trying to make up as much time as he can without killing their tires. Like you mentioned in the pre-race, those 2 guys, some of the best of saving tires in the entire league.
Yeah, and we've seen it here. Them slowly come through the field. Kyle and Josh gave the lead to Kale and Swartz. They're able to roll it back in. Kale in the wall, Nathaniel in the wall there. As the grandstands is removable for your pleasure. So we're seeing everybody in the top 6 now, as it's kind of changed hands a few times by. We're going to zoom back in. But right now, Kyle Ritchie moving up to that middle lane. Kel to pit road. Early stop for Kel McClenny.
Yeah, kind of surprised to see people in this early. I believe they're going to have 5 total sets tonight, so could just be trying to split this every 25 laps-ish to try to make all the tires work. I mean, not a bad call, I don't think. If the only way I could see this ruining his strategy right now is if we get an untimely caution, but we'll see. So far, everything's been so clean, and that's one of my favorite things about Charlotte is that this is a pretty clean racetrack most of the time. You don't really see a lot of crazy things happen, especially with a lot of the competitive guys we got here. They race with respect and like to give each other a good amount of space, but just not enough so that they can race hard.
Yeah, we're seeing it now. The lap times have dropped a second and a half, 31.8 that last time by for Kyle Ritchie. We'll see when Kel comes out of the pits, which he is out now, what times he will be the first. Kind of the test dummy with everybody on the new tires and what lap times will be had. I think we'll see everybody kind of split that, like you said, on lap 25, but very early call, and we'll see if he's going to be able to hold them off later in the run. He'll definitely have a big gap here when he gets running until people pit, but the battle for the lead is just starting to heat up.
Yeah, you can see the 19 of Josh Thaxton starting to look underneath Kyle Ritchie. Probably saved just a little bit more tire. We can see it working out well for him. He's going to peak underneath the 3 and 4 here. He's not going to use never mind. He's going to get a decent run. We'll see if he can carry the momentum off of 4 here, but it looks like Kyle Ritchie is going to keep that momentum off the top of 4 here.
It goes up by the wall, trying to keep that side draft away. Does Josh throw it in the corner? He does. Into 1 and 2 on the bottom lane. Can't see Kyle. Don't know where he's at the moment. He's going to be clear. Move Josh Thaxton to the lead on lap number 25. Kyle going to give him a push down the back straightaway.
Yeah, we saw it here while you were looking at the that wing camera. I saw Kyle Ritchie actually makes just slight contact with the wall going into 1 there. So definitely aided Josh Thaxton as he actually slides and hit the wall just a little bit off the exit of 4 there.
Well, I think we have another pit stopper. Randy Arms to pit road. So he's in. Cade just behind him. And Kel McClenny last time by. A 30.4 at the line that time. 30.1. So Kel is in the wall hard for some reason. And is making good lap times. So way quick on the lap times. Now over 2 seconds quicker than your front runners here at the moment.
Yeah, would it be surprised to see if we see a couple other guys start to respond? As I believe Jonathan Schwartz enters the pits now. Would it be surprised to see if your two leaders come in within the next couple of laps? I'm sure they're probably going to be told that Kale is making up a lot of time on them. I mean, they're almost in the 32s now, especially these last couple of laps. So those tires definitely starting to fall off, and whether or not they'll pit, well, we'll see what they end up doing.
Yeah, right now, I mean, nobody is committed to that strategy, which I'm kind of shocked. I figured Kyle Ritchie could possibly pit once he got the lead taken. He's in the dirty air, so it's going to slow him down just that little bit. But Nathaniel hasn't pitted yet, and a few guys, but I figured to get out of the clean air, they might. But Kel McClinney is coming up to everybody. There's Swartz. He pitted on 27. Kel pitted on 22. So this is the gap with about 5 lap fresher tires. Swartz is definitely going to be really quick compared to Kel here these next few laps. Kel's already running 6s, but Kel pitted that time early, so he's going to drive around everybody here.
Yeah, and as your leader, Josh Saxton, comes into the pits, decides to respond. We'll see how it works out for him. We've seen at a couple other racetracks this year that even a couple... Oh, so we got a
Swartz
spinner on the front stretch.
No caution? Not the moment. Spinner on the front straightaway. He ran a fast lap that last time by. Fastest lap of the race, but wasn't able to hold it there. Wow. As Josh was down pit road, that is big. Would say for playoff implications, but still, everybody mostly staying out of pit road so far. Kel being the first one to bite, it's definitely going to see. It's going to be a big strategy play for a lot of these guys, and to see how much speed he has. I think that's kind of what everybody thought, was wait and see how well Kel runs, and then make your decision on coming to pits. And I think that's what we're seeing from a lot of these guys. Is Matt Frady hasn't come to pit road, but Randy has. Josh just came out of the pits. So Randy pitted, and look how far in front he is. He pitted on 26, Josh on 29, and look at the gap.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to want to risk anything too early here. We do have the stage at lap 50, so a lot of these guys who haven't pit yet could just be waiting it out and seeing how the rest of the race is going to play out. I mean, like I said, stage lap 50, they could pit again. They'll know from a couple other guys in the field who have pit early how the tires are going to be towards the end of a fuel run. And like I said, Kyle Ritchie out, 31 laps so far, so not super surprising to see. We've seen him a couple of races this year be one of the guys who just go off strategy and stay out those extra couple of laps. And like I was saying before, we've had a couple of races this season that those extra laps, just even 5 extra laps, make such a big difference on the long run. So, like, for example, Schwartz pitted just those extra 5 laps later than Cale McClenny. We'll see whether or not it'll affect him in the long run, even after his spin. Not too long ago, but
Yeah, he's fine right now.
Yeah,
that really
so
did
far,
hurt him. But from Kyle's point of view, ooh, he drove her in deep in the stall. Should be able to get it slowed down. I was just going to call it that time by. I wouldn't be shocked if we see him on pit road in a lap or two, because we saw this strategy, how it played out at Homestead, Miami. He stayed out, was running great lap times on the old long run, but as it came down to the end of the race, Nathaniel or Swartz, I think it was, one of them two pitted, kind of split that last little run, and Kyle pitted too late to where the new tires couldn't get him to lead, but he was running about a second and a half quicker every lap. So I think Kyle's learned from his mistakes, pitted a little bit later than everybody else, but not too late to where he couldn't use those new tires. So he's going to exit pit road. Let's see where he comes out. Nathaniel passes. He's on the back straightaway now.
See, I believe we actually had a spinner on the apron there. I'm gonna see if I can go back and find it. I believe it was the 51 of Kevin Ritchie. Oh yeah, spin coming out of pit lane, hit the inside wall, but let's see if we can focus on Kyle here. He is gonna come out right in front of Cade Ferguson, and
we've seen this from Kevin a lot this year, especially at Bristol. One of his best runs, had a little mistake, spun it, but he's able to keep going, so it's actually not going to hurt him too bad. Everybody get their laps back essentially at the stage break, so no harm done there.
Oh yes, we got another. Oh, I believe that's Kevin again on the wall off the exit of 2 there. I know you probably didn't catch it, but he is in the wall again.
No, still. Kevin having big problems, possible toe knocked out or bigger problems there. After, is he's going to spin again? to pit road into the wall. Kevin, big struggling.
Looked like the All-Star race there when they didn't have a pit road speed limit for the pit stop challenge there. Just decided to drift it in. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if he decides to sit out the rest of the race here with how much damage he might have.
He
But
might put a
yeah, we'll
test
see what he
driver in there or
decides.
someone else
Yeah,
in
we'll
the
see
car.
what he does.
Yeah, but
Um,
Nathaniel still
so-
hasn't pitted, so he's still out, which is an interesting call. Same thing with Sam Demian in that 21 machine. So Sam out, the last two that haven't pitted yet. As we're seeing Tiller, Matt Frady, a lot of these guys. I mean, the range of pit stops, we went from lap 22, Tiller pitted on 34. So just 2 laps ago, he's got 2 lap fresher tires and Matt Frady just behind him. He's got 6 lap fresher tires and Swartz in front. So a lot of different strategies and a lot of different pit road laps that people came down. Just perfect example. Kyle pitted on 33 right here. Just in front of him, Cade pitted on 26.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if this strategy goes to the end of the race. I think we're going to see a lot of guys start to mix it up, and whether or not, I think it's going to be a lot of gambles from some of these guys here, and on whether or not their strategy is going to work. Wouldn't be surprised to see some of the playoff guys take the riskier strategies, like Kyle Ritchie pitting way later, as he's going to actually unlap himself from your leader, showing how. Just a couple of laps well, actually, I don't even think he's pit yet, but showing how much of a difference those fresh tires can make. And as we see, wouldn't be surprised if Nathaniel, I don't think he can make it to the end of the stage, but we'll see whether or not it has been fuel saving and
Ooh.
wants to maximize his stage points as Kyle Ritchie's going to go underneath 25 at Cade Ferguson.
Yeah, and we're seeing it now. I don't know how much longer he's going to wait to come down pit road, but with that being said, maybe he's making it. I mean, we saw it last week at Rockingham. Is he able to make it?
Yeah, not too sure. It worked out pretty well for him last week, so wouldn't be surprised if he is holding in that clutch in the middle of the corner to save just those extra little tenths of a gallon of fuel. I'm going to go into his in-car actually while you're there and see if we can hear him clutch.
We saw how slow he was earlier in the run. I don't think he's clutching anymore. But I will check. He's coming to pit road this time.
There he goes into the pits.
Yep, coming to pit road, trying to last as long as he could. But he's going to come down pit road this time, so that's going to give the lead to Sam. So Sam is actually going to take over the lead, which is a good few runs for him there. As Matt Frady and Swartz are going to try to get around him. Matt's going to drive to the outside. All these guys now that are lap down are going to have to unlap themselves in case that yellow comes out or in case they are able to make it. If Sam is somehow able to make it, that would be big to trap a lot of cars lap down.
Yeah, I was going to say we are only about 9 laps away from the stage here. So a lot of these guys who are lap down, Matt Frady, Jonathan Schwartz, our favorite Mikey Adams, unfortunately trapped the lap down. Whether or not Sam can make it and keep these guys a lap down is going to be pretty important. No playoff implications, unfortunately, but for a lot of these other guys, could have pretty big impact.
Yeah, and we're seeing Nathaniel coming to the pit road now. I mean, he waited so long. I don't think those new tires are going to help him much. He's really deep in the field now. Like Swartz, he's just in front. Like, yes, they're already about a second off the pace-ish, but still, he's not going to be able to get to the lead. So it's an interesting call on why he waited so long. But as it shakes out, it's going to be Josh Thaxton if Sam pits, which I think he is now. Oh! Possible spin. Did he keep it off the wall? He did. Nice save from Sam. Able to keep it off the wall. Just spun around. Just wanted to celebrate before pit road. But Josh is going to come and pass him by at the stripe. So now Josh will take over the lead. Kyle Ritchie in second. Randy Armson third. Kyle and Kel in fourth. Cade fifth. Landon sixth. Ryan in seventh. Matt eighth. Swartz ninth. And then we have the 99, our points leader, Nathaniel Antwer, just behind.
Yeah, kind of surprising to see him pit that late. Sounds like he's not really too worried about stage points. Be honest, I feel like he should be at least a little bit, as Kyle Ritchie will most likely finish second in the stage, possibly even the lead. We still got another 6-7 laps left in the stage, and Kyle's starting to run your leader down. So this could be a really big stage for Kyle if he can manage to take the lead here.
Well, one guy that has been our in-race reporter while we get past pit stops and everything before the stage. You want to drag him in here and we'll talk to him?
Yeah, let's go bring him in here.
All right.
Mikey, you got a copy, my friend? Mikey.
Mikey, are you okay?
Looks
Hello?
like...
We
Oh,
gotcha.
there he is. Oh, welcome to the booth, my man. We see you having a little bit of a fun battle here. Is you gonna try to make a move here? How are we feeling so far?
Pretty good. I learned a pretty good tire saving technique from the man himself, Cade. Been using it. Been feeling pretty good. Got a good rhythm going on. Hell of a way to bring me in as soon as I'm working on a pass. Dickhead.
We've been talking to you during a lot of stressful moments this season, so we figured by now you got it worked out. And look, you passed him just fine, pulling away now.
Oh yeah, dude. I feel like MJ in Game 7. Tongue out everything.
Well, you look like it. Take us around a lap here at Charlotte and tell us what you've learned so far during this first run.
Well, we're going to keep it to the apron and at the sign here, let off. Let it come down. Start rolling into it. Give it a little bit more. Right here, full throttle it a little bit. Now we're full throttle. All down the back stretch, we're full throttle. Sign again, we're going to let off. We're going to let it get down. Give it a little gas, little gas, little gas. All the way. Cut the apron a little bit. Hot damn, boy.
Well, that
You
is
just ran a 31.6.
There you
Hold
go.
on. I want to say something real quick.
Go ahead.
It's almost the last race of the season, okay? I want to thank everybody that's been watching, checking it out, hanging out with us on Tuesday nights. Yeah, I just want to thank everybody. I never really say that. That's why I just want to say that.
Hey, you make it fun every race and when it gets spread out. So we appreciate you being the in-race broadcaster. One of these nights, whenever that podium and the interview at the end of the race comes, I'm excited for it because that interview is going to be awesome to see.
Legendary.
Yes, sir. Well, you're coming up to the stage, so good luck, bud. We'll talk to you a little bit later.
Thank you.
Mikey Adams there to talk to us. Thank you, Mikey, for taking us around a lap as we were talking to him. Kyle Ritchie took over the lead from Josh. So, strategy, Kyle put it on 33, Josh on 29. And what do we tell you? Staying out that little bit longer helped Kyle, and he's going to take over the spot. Kale actually fell back pitting the first on lap 22. Already through the field. So, lost more time than I thought, but I thought he might lose more, especially with Tiller. He's only 0.6 of a second off of Tiller with about 10 lap older tires. So, I don't know. Everybody could have learned a lot that run. But down the back straightaway for the stage, Kyle.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say while we were interviewing Mikey there that yeah, he brought brought himself to the lead, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I like Kyle's strategy a lot right now. We see him obviously now he's gonna take the stage win here, almost 3/4 of a second from Josh Saxton there for the lead, almost a second for the stage win there, and he's gained a lot of time on a lot of the guys behind him. So to be honest with you, I think that pit late strategy is going to be the move here, especially towards the end of the race with all the tires.
Last one there is going to be Nathaniel Landwehr for the stage. So, with that being said, Kyle winning it, him finishing 9th. Big point swing here. Let's pull her back up. Kyle was only just about, well, he was only 8 points behind. That's an 8-point position. According to my calculations, if it's 1 point per spot, that should be a 8-point swing, and they should be tied with Kyle leading a lap. Possibly be the leader or the most laps led at the moment. Kyle could be the points leader.
Yeah, if your math is right, that should be the points lead just based on the fact that he has the laps. He was the most recent stage winner. So I think just by the playoff rules here, I think he will technically be scored the points leader. Still plenty of laps to go, but bold strategy by Kyle, and paid off really well for him.
Yeah, he waited a long time, but now we're going to see pit stops. Who is going to win the race off of pit road, and who's going to be able to set the pace to start the final run of the race. Landon Quisenberry in 4th. Actually a good run for him. Just behind him, Cade, Tiller. So a few guys that you kind of don't expect to be inside the top 5 are running pretty well in the top 5. So good runs for them. Let's see them as they come down pit road. Into the pit boxes they go. Who's going to win the race off of pit road? Who's going to have the cleanest pit stop? See the right sides go up on everybody's. Josh looks like he's quick. Randy going to be quick. Drops the jack. Kyle is going to win the race off pit road. Then it's going to be Josh, Landon, Tiller, Cade, Kel, Nathaniel, Sam, Jonathan, Mikey. Randy's still in the box. Same thing with Matt. So possible getting damage fixed. But that's the rundown of the field as they run off of pit road. So Quisenberry actually gains a spot. Tiller moves up. Cade loses 2. Overall, interesting pit calls there. Everybody took 4, obviously. With as late as he pitted, Nathaniel may have been able to get away with 2, but if it goes green, it wouldn't have worked out, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think at this point, I think with how crazy the tires are, I think the safe bet is to take 4 and might as well start off a fresh run with some fresh tires, and instead of being slightly limited with older tires, it might benefit you later in the run, but early on it might not make too much of a difference with just one set of tires here. But yeah, if I'm a lot of these guys, I think taking 4 is the call here.
Well, we should be 1 to go here. I'm going to do a quick talk with Kyle here. Kyle, do you got a copy?
Hello.
Well, big point swing there for you. You get the stage win. According to my calculations, you should either have a 1 or 2 point lead on Nathaniel or tied with him.
I think he got what, 9th in the stage? Or should be tied with him now.
So you should be tied. But if you have the most laps led, there's an extra point. Lap led, point. Who knows? But
We
heading into this
both
final
led a
run-
laps, so that
Yeah,
equals
true.
that out. But
Heading into this final stage, though, what are you thinking, and what's kind of your strategy?
save tires and not make a mistake on pit road. I think that's what it'll come down to.
Pit road's definitely going to be a big one. We saw the green flag pit stop. You stayed out late. What did you learn there by staying out late?
That tires matter more than I thought, but once I got to them, I never pulled on them, so they don't matter like as much as I thought. I don't know what to think right now with tires.
It's got a lot going on. We'll let you focus, bud. Good luck the rest of the race.
Thank you.
Kyle Ritchie there. Going to lead us back to the green after the stage win. Big point swing. Now we have a points battle on our hands with a race and a half to go. Pace car pulls off. We're ready for the second half of race 2, round 2. We're back green. Once again, the outside line doesn't get a good restart. Move Landon into the second spot. We've seen the likes of this before in another race. Can't remember the track, but Landon had a few races where he's run up front, got himself in a good position, was able to kind of hold it. So we'll see if he's able to tonight. But Josh is going to drive back around the outside. Now Josh is going to have a run on Kyle down the front straightaway. Kyle's going to have it at the line.
Yeah, we'll see whether or not he fights it too hard. We just heard him mention about how important the tires can be. So would it be too surprised if he doesn't fight it too hard just so he could say,
Oh,
we're going to have
contact.
a wreck on the backstretch.
Cade hard on the inside wall. Able to keep it out of the wall. Well, it was hard enough. I thought it possibly blew up with the weird kind of smoke that came out, but let's go back and take a look at it there as I just talked about both of them. Down the back straightaway, we'll get a good heads-on view from it. Down the back straightaway, exit of turn 2. Cade just got a little loose, comes down the track, right across Landon. Landon tries to lift and keep it out of the wall, but Cade into it. Nowhere for him to go, and quick caution comes out. Start of the second half.
Yeah, just an unfortunate contact there. Almost kind of just met in the middle. Like I said, Cade just getting a little bit loose off the exit of 2 there. Probably just not super used to the fresh tires. I mean, I'm sure these guys are used to driving on some old Goodyears here. So, yeah, just unfortunate for him, and it will most likely be his day over in a shortened field. Not too great to see any car DNF tonight, but yeah, unfortunate for him.
Yeah, that's going to be big for Cade. He was having one of his best runs of the season, but another guy that's going to be big for is Nathaniel. Moves him into third, so he's going to have an opportunity at Kyle. We'll see if Kyle gets a good restart. I'm assuming Josh is going to pick the bottom again, so Kyle will be on the top. Nathaniel's going to be probably side-by-side with him, maybe clear through the center of one from what we've seen from the last few restarts. So we got the top 5 ready to battle it out here. And a few guys that are back here. Mikey, Randy in at pit, but a few guys that did. It's going to be Kale, Matt. We see Jake there, Michael, and Cade trying to get some damage fixed. So they all topped off here. So we'll see if they're able to make it. This could be big for them if they can kind of pull the Nathaniel strategy, save enough, and make it.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention here, Kate, while we are under caution, we've had about 50 laps of green flag running so far. Right now, who is your pick to take that checker flag first?
Now, most of this season, I would have picked Nathaniel, but Nathaniel seems to be struggling tonight. I know him and his crew were celebrating the points gap pre-race with a little few beverages, so I think that's what's been hurting him tonight, but I'm not for sure. Nathaniel, though, is finally worked his way up here. I would normally pick him, but I'm going to pick the guy right in front of him, Kyle Ritchie. He's had a big point swing, has a lot of momentum, won the stage. I think he's going to be able to hold him off.
Yeah, and I know normally people don't pick the same people as the other hosts would, but I'm gonna be honest with you, just based off of his interview, based off of how he's been running tonight, and how I think his strategy is going to be tonight, I'm also going to go Kyle Ritchie. I can hear it in his voice in his interview that he's learned from a lot of his previous mistakes. We saw it earlier. He didn't speed on pit road on that green flag stop. Wasn't like, I was honestly kind of surprised to see it, considering that's how we've seen a lot of pit road speeding penalties from him this season. He seems to understand the strategy a bit more than everybody else. We saw it work out for him in the stage, pitting way later than everybody else. So, yeah, I'll be honest with you, my pick's also going to be Kyle Ritchie tonight.
I think it's a pretty good shout. I think Josh is going to have something else to say about it, but we've seen his kind of strategy just go and try to get away from him. Kind of burn off the tires, but was able to kind of stick with them. At this point, I can't really tell. So we'll see who's going to come out with it with these guys. And I don't know. It's going to be a big call on one. Are the guys that just pitted on that caution, Kale, Matt, Jake, Michael, are they able to make it on fuel? Then, I don't think so, but if they are, and that kind of helps them a good little bit, is that going to be enough to where they're able to squeak the win? Does Kyle burn him up too much? Is Nathaniel how hard he's going to push? Nobody knows as we're getting ready for the restart. Pace car pulls down pit road once again. Into the zone. Josh fires. We're back green. Once again, not a good restart from the outside line. Into 1 and 2 once again. See everybody trying to get clear, and that will be Nathaniel clear on Kyle Ritchie across the nose into 3 and 4 from the digger cam. So at the completion of the lap, Kyle Ritchie started on the outside line, drops him 2 spots, and he falls back to the 4th spot. So with that being said, are these drivers, Alex, taking mental notes on that outside line where they restart, especially if we get a late race yellow? It just doesn't look like with the momentum that is needed to run kind of the outside line, the top just doesn't work on these restarts.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are going to be taking mental notes here. I've, like I said, noticed it a lot. Top line just isn't getting the start there. Whether I think it's just a timing thing, they just can't get with the leader, or just the fact that the leader just gets such a good jump here. I mean, from personal experience, I've noticed it as Schwartz is going to take the lead here from Josh Thaxton. From personal experience here, I've noticed that if you are the leader here, this is one of those tracks, just for some reason, you just get a really good jump if you're the leader, and you could leave everybody else behind you. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of these guys are going to take notes about it and try to maybe not jump the restart, but try to get a little bit of a boost from the leader just to not fall back too far behind.
Yeah, and I mean, these guys are going to have to go hard enough to where they know that they're going to split it, as we got a challenge for the lead now between Josh and Swartz. They know that they can just about split it. So you can run a little bit later, or you can pit a little early, kind of do what Kel did, just make it to the end on fuel, or run it as long as possible and have brand new fresh tires for that last 20, 25 lap run it'll be, more than likely, at the end of it. So what would your strategy call be? Let's say if you're in Kale or Swartz situation here, we see Kale on the top line. He's just going for raw speed. Swartz is leading it. We know he's aggressive on the tires. So if you were in their situation, what would you do?
Oh, what I was gonna say is Kale's gonna scrape the wall going to 3 and 4 there. Honestly, if I'm the guy on top of the box right now and I'm making the call for my driver, I think it's stay out as long as you can, but not too long to where you'll have a lot fresher tires than a lot of the field in front of you, but you have enough time to actually use them as opposed to getting caught out at the end of the race where you just kind of stuck and you just didn't have enough time to make your way towards the front of the field again. I think it's pit late, but not too late.
Okay, now, if you were in Kyle's situation, how long would you wait? You know he's going to be good on the tires, but how long can he wait, even though if he has the best long run compared to everybody, what is the most that he can wait compared to everybody else? We saw it. He pitted about 5 laps later than a lot of other guys, and he was able to get it done. Can he do that same thing and replicate it to come away with the win?
Be honest with you, I think he can. If he can stay with this top 5 group here and stay within this little pack, I think it can work out good for him. He'll probably end up being the guy who's the second to last or last guy to pit out of this top 5 group by maybe a couple of laps, maybe 5 laps. We'll see here. Like I said, I think he's going to be the guy who will be the last guy to pit.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. We see how good he is on the long run, especially. So with him being the long run driver, he's able to stay out longer, which helps him later in the run on the new tires. So he's making his way kind of down the field as Randy is making his way up the field.
Yeah, as you can see here, like I said, top 3 pretty close right now. And then 4th and 5th, Kale and Kyle keeping it just a little bit farther back, but not losing the pack too much as we got the rest of the field kind of in a little bit of a spread out group there. And I don't know, right now I think for most of this race it has been a battle of the top 5. We've seen it later in the stage as well, that even if you're one of those guys like Kale and Kyle, later in the run, if you save just a little bit more, you'll pull and you'll start to gain time. We saw that's exactly what Kyle did midway through the stage. We saw him save a little bit, and then he was able to make his way through. They're going to make contact going into 1.
Big contact. Teammates get together. What happened there? Netcode was really what got it. Kyle just kind of came up, and it really should have never touched, but it really hooked, and once it did, Kel went hard on the outside wall. Don't know how bad that's going to hurt him. He's down the running order now, but if the right front is killed, and he's going to come down pit road. That might be his day done. But how much does that hurt Kyle? He didn't get in the wall or anything, so he should be okay, but could be enough to hurt him. Does he have right rear damage? Let me go check that, actually. Doesn't look like it. I don't think so.
Nah, I might have just spooked him a little bit. Shouldn't have any effect on his car in terms of aero. Like I said, very fast racetrack, so aero does matter just a little bit. We'll see whether or not later in the race it affects him, but so far, that little bit of contact from the netcode doesn't seem to be affecting him right now.
And hopefully it doesn't, because he's got to run down these guys. With Nathaniel being just in front of him, only one spot, which is big. I think he's rooting for the 2 in front of him to hold off Nathaniel, to let him catch and at least be able to get there later. But right now, Nathaniel trying to work his way by these 2 as they're doing a good job holding him up.
Yeah, I think right now Kyle wants those guys to start getting just a little bit more racy so they can just fall back into him. Another thing I've noticed too, just from my own personal experience as well, is draft does matter just a little bit here. I've noticed it just last week for our league race that I had to just get just a little bit closer to the top 3 in front of me just to try to stay with him, because if not, you're kind of just in a little bit of a bubble on your own here. So I think Kyle's going to want these guys to try to fall back to him just a little bit so he can keep with him and not fall too far back.
Yeah. And I don't know. These boys are getting really racy, and this is really going to hurt their tires. We seen it last time by. It was a 4 for Swartz, a 3 for Josh, and a 2-4 for Nathaniel. But just behind them, Kyle, all by himself, able to save tire, not race anybody. He ran a 2.29 and is slowly reeling him back in.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, I think Kyle's going to like what he's seeing out of his windshield here. As Nathaniel's going to cut the grass a little bit to try to get underneath the 19 of Josh Staxton there. He's going to move up just slightly, but see if he gets a run off of 2. He's not going to get too much of a run, as Staxton's going to be able to keep a second position.
And we're seeing now how good that top lane can be. One thing that I expected possibly earlier in the race, Kale could have held it off Kyle when he was trying to take the lead back, but that didn't end up happening. And now we're seeing it from the front guys. Ooh, they're going to go 3 wide almost. Josh is doing everything he can to get around Swartz. Swartz is packing the dirty air on both of them, and Nathaniel's just trying to survive around the bottom, but things are getting interesting and could be big here.
Yeah, I saw Nathaniel there. He got a little bit loose going into the middle of 1 and 2 there. I saw him move up just slightly. Like you mentioned, Schwartz packing that dirty air in the front of his nose there. So, like I mentioned before, the arrow is going to be a little bit important here. As you want as much clean air as you can. We'll see who Schwartz decides to arrow block here, as the 2 behind him are going to go side by side in 1 and 2.
Well, we see him kind of run that middle lane. Nathaniel goes up to the top. Going to have the run down the back straightaway now. So good move from Nathaniel, able to get to the right rear of Josh and was able to run the top side. So now where does he go? All over the back bumper of Nathaniel, or of Swartz, sorry. To the outside now. Side by side down the back straightaway. We've seen at Texas how these two race each other and how it comes down to them racing. Could be another 3 wide finishes. Josh is going to get all over the back buffer of Swartz. Nathaniel, contact, Swartz into the back of him. Nathaniel sideways, going to spin it through the grass. Kyle makes it through. Josh loses a ton of time. No yellow. And down the front straightaway. No caution still. Nathaniel spins. What happened there? Honestly, kind of looks like close to the same thing that happened at Texas. Swartz in the left rear gets into him sideways. Josh has nowhere to go. Into the back of Nathaniel's. Nathaniel's down the front straightaway spinning. Able to keep it off everything. Locks it down, does a good job there. But Josh, I think, had a broken right front, right in front of Tiller. Big problems here for everybody running in the front.
Yeah, I think this is a battle that just got way too close, to be honest with you. You could tell within the last couple of laps it was starting to get a bit aggressive. I saw earlier in the lap that I believe it was Schwartz got a little bit of a bump from Josh Thaxton there, and honestly, I'm not sure. I don't think this is anything intentional, but tension's starting to get a little bit high, especially towards the end of the lap, and we saw the 3 just get way too close, and yeah, it didn't work out well for them. Yeah, I think they're gonna keep that in mind for later, that you might not be able to go 3 wide in the exit of 4 there very well.
Well, this is the best situation for Kyle Ritchie to have happen. We saw Swartz go. He was running that top line a lot of this run. Was able to hold off probably the 2 fastest that were behind him. But that has burned off his tires. The guy that was just behind him that was saving all race, he's now moved into the 2nd spot and is 0.2 a lap faster than Swartz.
Yeah, I will say I think he might need a new set of overalls once he gets back into the pits here. I'm sure he probably spooked himself a little bit watching his 2 contenders fall out and spin on the front stretch. And I do just want to point out, Nathaniel Landwehr is struggling back there in 12th. I'm seeing he's basically been sideways the last 2 laps, going into 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So most likely just as a result from him spinning out, burning his tires, and then
Ooh.
burning me even more trying to spin himself around. So yeah, could just be driving out of anger right now.
Definitely, and I think he probably is. This is a big point swing. If he were to finish in the spot he is now, one guy that is already pitted, Kale is on pit road. He's been on pit road for I think a lap now. So,
He's been there he's 12 laps down right now.
okay.
So I believe
so he
right
he pulled
now
out.
your DNFs are Kale McClenny, Kevin Ritchie, we saw earlier, involved in some interesting contact with the wall. Michael Cochrane earlier, I believe, having some internet issues. Is Josh Thaxton right now is still on pit road, 3 laps down. Not sure if this will be the end of his night in terms of whether he will continue racing, but definitely the end of his hopes of contending for a win tonight.
Well, we're seeing them run each other down now. Kyle within 0.2 of a second on Jonathan Swartz. And just behind them, don't look now, Randy Arms is slowly creeping in, 1/10 of a second better than both of them.
Yeah, name we haven't really mentioned much tonight, but he is still in the playoff running. He's got a bit of a points gap to make up right now. Currently in 5th with 2,035 points. Almost I believe a 27-point gap. Could make up a lot of him. Honestly not sure where he finished in the stage, but depending on the results tonight, he could make up a good amount of points on your points leader right now.
And right now, Kyle moves to the top side. One of the best in the league at doing that. Around the outside, he's going to try to get the run down the back straightaway. Almost 1/10.5 that time faster than Swartz. He's going to go to the bottom in 3 and 4. Drive it in deep. On the bottom, wash up. Swartz is going to try to fight it, though. Back to his inside. But move Kyle into the lead. Is Swartz going to be able to fight it? We're 40 laps to go. Kyle Ritchie to lead.
Yeah, not super surprising to see him get just a bit more aggressive. I know we've been talking about tire saving and tires this entire race, but no pun intended there. But like I said, not surprised to see him push just a bit more aggressive. He knows that his championship contenders have fallen back down the order, and like I said, Nathaniel Lynn, we're still in 12th, 22 seconds behind the leader right now, and he is dropping back. Really almost a second, half a second, 3/4 of a second a lap there. So unfortunate for him, he's not going to be able to push as hard as he wants to right now with those burned out tires. But I'm sure Cal is loving the lead right now, and knowing that he's got a lot of his contenders way far down the field behind him.
Yeah, and he's slowly going to drop down the field. Randy's going to have to try to set up this pass now. Let's see how Randy sets it up compared to what Kyle did, or is he just going to follow what he did and run that top side in 1 and 2, get the run down the back straightaway, and drive it into 3 and 4? Who knows? How would you set up this pass?
Well, if I was just about to say,
if Swartz lets him go, it makes
make
it
a move
easy.
on the inside there. If I'm this guy, if I'm a lot of the guys making passes right now, the way I honestly do, I like making the move out of 1 and 2. To be honest with you, running the high side, getting a bit of momentum, and just crossing over onto the bottom and making a great move in a 3 and 4. Usually works out pretty well, especially on fresher tires. But yeah, for these guys, I'm sure with the older tires here, it's more of a just try to get as much speed as you can compared to the other guys. See, Schwartz is going to head into the pit road.
So Swartz to the pits. Burned off the tires probably more than anybody. This inside the top 3 at least. But how long does Kyle and Randy wait? I think they're going to wait till about 30 to go. I don't see them pitting any sooner than that. Everybody still out back is battling. I mean, we've been talking about this lead battle, and it's been a great battle all race, but still out back is an amazing battle between now Quisenberry for 3rd, Tiller 4th, Matt 5th. So these guys are still going at it and making a show out of it, as well as we're seeing Swartz just coming to pit road now.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be much of a battle for the win here. Those guys towards the back of the field are putting on a bit of a show back there, but going back and forth between them and the leaders, and they've been going at it, getting pretty racy, making some nice moves there. So could be a battle for the podium here if things play out their way. And see a lot of smoke from the top there. I don't know what that was from in front of Cal Ritchie, but yeah, like you said before. I think pits are going to be. Nathaniel's going to get loose. As funny enough, I was just going to mention
he hasn't pitted.
Yes, same. We got about 35 laps to go right now, so
okay.
I don't know how long the fuel run is. Oh, he's gonna spin!
Right in front of Kyle Ritchie. Caution is going to be out. That is big for everyone. Kale swerved at him. I don't think he wanted that caution. I think Kale's just out there trying to have fun with it now. But, wow, that is going to change everything.
Yeah, and I was just gonna mention that I saw Kyle. He was starting to make up like a second a lap on Nathaniel there, and I was gonna say if he goes a lap down, that's not going to be great news for him. He's not going to be the lucky dog, considering he is the reason for the caution, and has that incident point. So he shouldn't be the lucky dog. It's actually Schwartz is going to be scored in front of him either way. So it should be Schwartz who's going to get the lucky dog here. And with how clean everything's been so far, you know, if we stay green the rest of this race, Nathaniel could be trapped a lap down for the rest of the race here, which will not be good for him. He'll be scored at least 12th, as so long as the guys in front of him don't also go a lap down. But man, as every lap ticks down, I think Kyle Ritchie's enjoying what he's seeing in front of him. As I'm sure all these guys are going to come down pit road. Another thing to point out as well, I'm not sure we're probably going to go green with about 32, 31 to go here. So whether or not these guys will pit again for the rest of the race is to be seen. Wouldn't be surprised if maybe they split it to try to gain as much speed as possible, but also wouldn't be surprised to see if from now on there are no more pit stops from a lot of these guys, especially in the top 5.
Yeah, we're seeing it now. Pit stops. Who's going to come out of pit road? Kale having a big problem on pit road, but, you know, ignore that. There's the race off of pit road. It is going to be Kyle Ritchie off of pit road with Randy Arms, Landon Quisenberry, Ryan Tiller, Matt Frady, Sam, Michael, Mikey, Swartz did not pit, I don't think. I think he pitted on 89 that time, so Jake's going to come off. So, wow, okay. Well, we're seeing it good now.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, Schwartz, I believe, was the lucky dog, so he is now in the lead lap. Did not pit that much, not that long ago, so he might not actually come back to pit road so long as he can actually make it to the end here. Wouldn't be surprised if he comes in just for a little splash of fuel, since he will be the last car on the lead lap, and it won't affect his position at all. So, yeah, right now, your former points leader trapped a lap down with about 32 to go.
Well, when we get back on green, it's going to be about 30 to go, 31 to go. With that being said, if we run a few green, will we see another pit stop? I don't think so, but we got to see how this race plays out. It's already been crazy, so who knows?
All right, as we're going to form up here 2 by 2. We're going 1 to green. We're going to go green with 31 to go right now. Let's go a quick rundown of the field. Kyle Ritchie scores your leader on the 76 Stitch Machine. Randy Arms, your league owner on the outside. Landon Quisbury having himself a night, up 11 spots from a starting position. Down in third, Ryan Tiller in fourth. Matt Frady having himself an okay night, sitting inside the top 5. Sam Demian involved in some pit road shenanigans earlier, up 10 spots from his initial position. Michael Davis having himself an all right night. Mikey Adams, our favorite guy, running in the top 10 right now in the 8th position. Jake Pittangoro down in 9th, and Jonathan Schwartz rounding out your top 10. Cade Ferguson 11th. Nathaniel Landwehr, your former points leader, trapped a lap down in 12th. And your 4 DNFs, Josh Thaxton, Cale McClenny. Actually, he might not be DNF'd anymore, but might as well be. Kevin Ritchie and Michael Cochrane, your last DNS, as the pace car is going to make that hard left on the pit road here. We'll see how good of a jump Kyle Ritchie gets on the restart here. There goes the pace cars. Ritchie's going to bunch them up and try to get himself a good jump. We've seen here the outside line hasn't worked very well as we head into the restart zone, and we are green. Kyle getting himself a decent start off the line. Ready, not falling too far back, but able to slide in line right behind him. Not sure if he'll be super aggressive going into 1 and 2 here, considering knowing that we might not see another pit stop tonight, or at least another green flag pit stop. He's probably going to want to save as many tires as he can. He's going to try to aim on the back bumper of Richie. Whether or not he'll make a move is to be seen, as he's going to slot right behind him and follow him, as that's Ryan Tiller up top. Oh, we've got a spinner on the back so far, caution free, just one. I think he's going to keep it straight on the apron there, as Cal Ritchie's going to keep the lead.
He's going to
the restart.
Yeah, he's going to take the lead and try to hold off Randy, but now this is a different situation that Kyle and Randy have been in all race. They've been in saving mode. At the restart of the run, his land is going to come up the track. There goes Michael Davis into the inside wall. Kale's up and over. Big flip down the back straightaway at Charlotte.
Look like Ryan Tiller out there on the catch fetch and upside down.
Luckily, the catch fence starts about there where he flipped and not there where it ends. So thankfully, he didn't go over the catch fence. We might need medical, but it looks like he's driving back over there, so he might be all right.
Yeah, gonna definitely need some medical attention there. As Sam Demian also as well had a hard hit into the inside wall. Might be the beginning of a bit of CTE for him there, or definitely a concussion for sure. And let's see how this started here. Is the 75 at Quisenberry. I think he just gets loose off the bottom here, and it kind of just creates a checkup on the bottom as he slides back up the track, takes Davis with him. He's going to clip Sam Demian, and Cam McClain is going to get involved as well, ending up on his roof and back on all four wheels. But yeah, I think this is a sign that this should be it for him tonight, as Nathaniel Landwehr, we see him just sitting back there, not involved. Shouldn't have gotten a penalty, any incident points there, so he should actually be the lucky dog. Could be big for him. Don't see we're gonna see. I say we're not gonna see any takers. There's a couple guys towards the back of the field entering pit road.
I just want to ride on board with this one time, just for reasons. We see it. Thinks he's gonna be clear. Sees the 5 come down the racetrack. Little touch, all good. Ping, and in the air he goes. This is violent, everybody. Keep your pants on. In the catch fence it goes. Back on his lid, but able to keep it underway.
Yeah, I hope you don't have motion sickness there, because might have affected you just a little bit there. And while you were watching the replay, Gabe, Nathaniel Landwehr was your lucky dog. He did go around to get his lap back, so I wouldn't be surprised if he actually pits here for maybe another fresh set of tires to try to make his way through the field with 28 to go.
Yeah, I think it's going to be enough time, but the problem is, how much better tires is Kyle and Randy going to be able to save while he has to drive through the field? I don't know. That's going to be the biggest thing.
Yeah, no, I know with not how difficult it seems to have been to pass for tonight, especially with how racy everybody's been. Will him pitting even make a difference? No idea. I'm not sure. Let's see here if he is going to pit at all. And no, he did not coming around. So looks like he's going to stay on those sets of tires that he's been on for those like 2 green flag laps here. And yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if, not that he's given up for tonight, but we've seen him get into a lot of trouble. So whether or not he'll actually even try to push his way through the field and just try to survive the rest of the night could be the game plan for him.
Yeah, and Kyle's definitely got a good situation going for him. These caution laps are going to help him big. He's going to be able to just kind of do whatever he wants. But he's still got to perform. And if he's able to win, that's going to be a lot of stress off his shoulders, depending on where Nathaniel's able to finish heading into next week.
Yeah, and I just want to point out as well, I think these guys should be good to the end here. I'm sure a lot of these guys are fuel saving under these caution laps. So with coming to green, with 26 to go, I think we're going to see these guys not have to make another stop. So I think it's going to come down to tires. If that's going to be the case, I mean, my money's on the 2 guys who are leading the field right now, and Richie and Randy Arms here, two of the best tire savers in the field. So we'll see how it plays out for them.
Yeah, it's going to be a matter of, do we get another yellow or 2? And are these guys going to be able to save enough tire to combat Nathaniel whenever he's able to get up here? One thing I just noticed, Kel is still out here. With no hood, he's been on his lid. Kel is still out here digging. That is... okay. He's been up and over, and he's still out here. So Kel, he's having fun with it. But these boys are ready to try to finish it off to see what we got here for this last run and a championship. Pace car pulls off back into the restart zone. Seen the bottom lane fire good. And we're going to probably see it once again. Here we go for the restart. Kyle fires. Randy gets one of the best jumps we've seen all night. Tiller did not get a good one. And through 1 and 2 they go. Matt Frady in the first time for the top 5 tonight. He's looking to hopefully get in there and battle everybody he can. He's got a lot of laps this week in the Xfinity car around Charlotte. He's going to drive right to the outside, clear Sam, get to Tiller's right rear, and he's going to try to fight Tiller for second. Ooh, everybody in the wall.
Yeah, not a playoff contender, unfortunately, despite the fact that we've seen him have some pretty good races this season. But honestly, could just be in it to try to get himself another win here, or try to help his teammate, Cal Ritchie, out. We could see him jump in front of Randy Arms with how racy that car is looking right now to maybe hold him back a little bit.
Yeah, and with them going as hard as they are now, within 25 laps to go, how hard do these guys push? Is Kyle just going to try to back them up and keep them at their pace? Or is Randy or Matt going to jump to the outside and try to take the lead? Looks like Randy's going to arc it a little bit, possibly fake Kyle out. We're seeing Swartz now. He's working his way around everybody on the outside line. Nathaniel's barely clear on, I believe that was Jake. Trying to board with Nathaniel here. You can kind of see the whole field here. He's going to drive it in deep around the outside line. Swartz, they're going to look out back. We're going to see them 3 wide. Just in front of him. Randy's kind of working the outside, but they're still 3 wide.
Yeah, I know I mentioned it before that maybe Nathaniel was just going to try to make his way to the end without any trouble.
Contact
There's going to be
made.
a little contact back there. No wrecking. They're going to keep it straight. But close call right there for Nathaniel. Almost got himself into even more trouble.
Yeah, Landon did a good job of saving that. But everybody able to survive. Now back up to the front. Man, this is going to be a good one right here. We're closing in on 20 laps to go.
Yeah, so far it looks just like Kyle's just going to hold the pace and try to keep everybody behind him. Doesn't look like Randy's getting too aggressive, that he just wants to stay behind him, use his draft, try to save just a little bit of tire so we can have that advantage in the last couple of laps where we can hopefully make a pass on Kyle Ritchie for the win. Yeah, so far everything looking pretty clean in the top 5. Nothing too crazy. Matt Frady just sitting pretty behind Randy Arms as Schwartz is going to make a move on the inside of Ryan Tiller.
Yeah, he's making the move, and it looks like he's going to drive her in deep, kind of run the middle. Can he wash up? He doesn't even need to. He's going to clear him by the center. And here comes Swartz. Pitted on 93, possibly with a few lap fresher tires than Kyle, but he's worked his way through the field a lot better than Nathaniel has, and has been able to kind of get himself in the right spot, but he's already going to go to the outside line. He's going to just try to take the lead. We've seen it earlier. He was able to take the lead by doing that, but later in the run, it came back to bite him. So we'll see if that's going to be the way it plays out, or if he's going to be able to hold him off.
Yeah, Schwartz is actually the guy on the freshest tires right now. Pitted lap 98 under that caution. So he's got the freshest tires out of anybody in the top 3, as he's going to make the pass on Matt Frady pretty easily and try to stick it on the inside of Randy Arms here. You know, like I said, that 5-lap difference, we can see it happening already.
There are going to be 5 cars now going for this win. We're seeing the move. Jonathan Swartz is trying to make something happen. Let's ride on board with Kyle, looking out back at everybody else. Now, at the start of the run, the start of the race, we've seen everybody on the top. Or we've seen everybody on the bottom. Now, everybody's on the top.
Yeah, everybody seems to be migrating towards that middle to the top line here. Not super hugging the bottom line there, and it seems, oh, Schwartz is going to hit the outside wall. Could be a little bit of damage for him as we see him trying to make his way through the field. Will drop back into the jaws of Matt Frady and Ryan Tiller as Kyle Ritchie and Randy Arms are going to try to pull away as much as they can.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be big for Swartz. Possible mistakes, and we've seen it all season long. Mistakes cost races, and that's what's costed Kyle a win or two this season. So, man, I don't know if he's gonna have enough time now. That definitely hurt him.
Yeah, it could be some possible some right front toe link damage, some right rear suspension damage as well. The toe could be all over the place on the right side of that car. So yeah, might have lost a little bit of the speed he's got going on there, and or he could just be backing off a little bit, maybe telling himself, oh, maybe that was a little bit too aggressive, and just trying to heat his pace now to try to save it for the last laps.
Yeah, I mean, the only now thing that I'm noticing is Randy going to have enough speed to take him on. That's the only guy that I think left that is going to have the speed to be able to take on Kyle. He's running just about same lap times. He was 0.003 of a second better that time by, but is it going to be enough to catch him? He's gaining a little bit down the back straightaway now.
Yeah, the thing about this is we won't know till the end. These guys pit on the same lap, and whether or not, I mean, we'll see whether, like, who saved their tires better and who's going to make it work. Right now, it looks like Randy's saving a little bit, but could also be pushing just a little bit more, having to be in Kyle's dirty air most of his laps. He's trying to make a move now, so if he keeps trying to pull off just any move, he could be killing his tires just a little bit more than Kyle is. Most likely trying to save just a little bit to keep something for the last 3 laps of the race.
Well, we see him kind of run that arcing lane. With him arcing it, that's getting him that good run through the center of the corner. He's going to go to the inside of Kyle Ritchie now, side by side for the lead with less than 15 laps to go. One thing that Kyle, though, I will say he has to keep in mind, as Tiller's going to try to make a move on Swartz. Tiller's having a great run now, but one thing that Kyle has to keep in mind, Nathaniel having a bad race. No matter what, he could finish second and still be a good race for Kyle in the point situation. So even if he does have to let Randy go, it could be big for him.
Yeah, currently sitting in the 7th position, 4 seconds back from the, I'm sorry, never mind. What am I looking at? I'm looking at 2.5 seconds behind the leaders right now. Most likely won't be a challenger for the win. But yeah,
Ooh.
Kyle's definitely going to have that in the back of his head as we got a little bit of contact back there, I think, from those 3 battling for the 3rd spot.
Yeah, a little bit of contact between Tiller and Swartz, I think. But that opened up the door. So move Tiller into second, or into third. Does he have enough tire left to go chase him down? If these two start getting a battle, this could be a Tiller win.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. So far, it doesn't look like they're getting too racy. Kind of just keep it to themselves and just logging laps right now. It doesn't look like Randy wants to be too aggressive and force a move that he doesn't want to force. But with Tiller as well, whether or not he'll actually have enough tire to make it there, considering we've seen how much battling he's been doing the last 10-ish laps. Yeah, those two are starting to create a gap on the rest of the field. Up about almost a second from third on back here is Randy's starting to fall back just a little bit into 1 and 2 here. Could be a tire thing. Could be just he's backing off just a little bit to maybe set up a pass. We're coming with 9 to go on this next time by, so laps starting to tick down for Randy Arms.
Yeah, and we're seeing it from Randy. He kind of gets the run. I think he's better in 3 and 4 than he is in 1 and 2. But with him being about where he is, he's kind of in that bubble with the Xfinity car where he's not in close enough to where he can kind of, the dirty air doesn't really affect him and the clean air is more of a deal. Well, Kyle blinks out there. That means he's going to have clean air, and that actually did help him a little bit. So Kyle's internet could mess him up here.
Yeah, laps ticking down here. We're coming with 8 to go. Kyle Rich is going to keep his lead. Like I said, Randy not trying to make too much of a move here. Could be waiting to make a last lap pass, or he could be. Honestly, wouldn't surprise me if he'd be happy with second here. He might know Kyle's had pretty much the fastest car in the field tonight. So whether or not he thinks he can actually chase down Kyle, he's going to start creating a little bit of a gap on the backstretch here.
And he's not really pushing too hard anymore. We're closing in on 5 laps to go. At what point does Randy say it's wall time and try to rip that high line as they're in the wall behind him? Swartz is going to spin. Able to save it, though. That's another spot for Nathaniel as he drives way through the grass.
Yeah, what a surprising move from Landry to help to somehow keep it straight. I wonder how if this is just him getting loose or a little bit of contact here.
Oh, up in the wall.
No, just up on the wall, got himself, oh yeah, bounce off the wall, and
Good save.
yeah, not sure the 75 at Quisenberry there helped him out, but at least he keeps it straight. We stay green.
Yeah. Oh, Taylor's in the outside wall. That's going to help Matt gain on him. Yeah, now that that happened, everybody's getting tight off of 4. And I think that's what we're seeing from Randy. He's not able to get to Kyle now, but Kyle is out front with a 5/10 second lead and the best battle on the tracks for 3rd.
Yeah, I said it before. He mentioned it in his interview that he knew that tires were going to be important, just not how important. Starting to show it now that those tires definitely have been the most important part of tonight. He's starting to build that gap, and that checker flag is starting to call Kyle Richie's name in the next 5 laps.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing it now. If that was a yellow, that would have been big for Nathaniel to have an opportunity to go after it. But with it going green right now, I don't know. Tiller, does he have enough speed though to hold off Matt?
Yeah, pretty intense battle back there. If they somehow get a little bit of contact going here, wouldn't be surprised if we see a yellow. Like I said, not too many cars in the field right now, so mostly just been single car incidents, single car spinouts, or some single car, hits on the wall off the exit of 4. So I don't know. I'm not sure if anybody can create that crazy yellow to come out right now. We only got 3 to go, so the time is starting to run out. All Kyle has to do is take the white flag, and the results will be pretty much official if another flag comes out.
Yeah, and we're seeing the battle between Tiller and Frady. With everybody kind of run that top line now. I'm shocked Matt didn't go to the top line there. He would have had a good run as Tiller goes to the bottom. But this is the best battle on the racetrack. Really not much going on. We got the battle behind them, which is between Landon and Nathaniel. I think Nathaniel just now cleared. So we're coming to go. It's going to be 2 laps to go for Kyle Ritchie.
Yeah, I'm so far showing that those tires, he's managed to keep them alive as much as possible. I'm sure probably him just keeping the pace earlier in the run helped him save, and Randy probably pushing just a little bit too much. Has probably accepted his fate just to keep himself at second, not to fall too far back into Tiller's jaws as they're behind him. Frady's still battling, coming with 1 lap to go here. Kyle's going to round 3 and 4 onto the front stretch, coming to the white flag.
Yep, white flag for Kyle Ritchie. Been a kind of up and down season for him. He was able to make the playoffs, kind of squeaked in, was down on the points heading into tonight. Was tied for second, but still almost 10 points back. And now he's looking for a big swing in those points with Nathaniel, the championship leader, and his closest rival finishing 5th. Kyle Ritchie, off of turn number 4, is going to take the points lead and take the win at Charlotte. Randy second, Tiller able to hold off Matt for 3rd, Landon 5th, or Nathaniel 5th, Landon 6th. We got Cade 7th. Good run for Cade after that spin early. That was a great comeback for him. Mikey 8th. Mikey finishes 8th. Top
Let's
10
go,
for
baby.
Mikey.
Yes.
We're going to have to interview him on that one. Top 10 for
Yeah,
Mikey. That was a good run for him.
Yeah, we'll bring him in here
Swartz
later on.
9th.
Great run for him.
Swartz 9th. Jake 10th. And that's the last of the runners. But man, what a race it was here at Charlotte. Down to the wire from start to finish as everybody's going to congratulate him. And he's going to have to burn her down on the front straightaway. Let's drag him in here.
Kyle Ritchie, winner of tonight's race. You got a copy, my man.
Hello.
Well, welcome back to the booth. Like Kate mentioned earlier, you've had an up and down season, but starting to make your way through the field and climb your way to the points. You will now be the points leader with Nathaniel only finishing 5th, having a great stage tonight. Just your overall thoughts on the race, my man.
I had a lot of fun. I wish the top worked a little better, but it didn't. But it was fun.
Yeah, we saw a lot of strategy come out of you guys tonight. We saw you pull the late move with pitting during the stage there. Did you have any thoughts on the rest of the strategy for the rest of the race and how the tires played out for you and
Well,
Randy mostly?
before Nate and whoever he wrecked, Josh, I think before those two wrecked, I thought I saved better the tire than them, and we only had like 12 or 8 laps, or I forget how many laps left on fuel. So I was just gonna run it dry and hope my long arm pace was good enough to podium, and then those two got into it, and then from there I kind of had a good feeling I was gonna have either a win or a second place, and then them restarts got me a little worried with Randy on me, but I think he burnt his stuff trying to pass me.
Yeah, we saw it before with mostly you and Randy battling for the top two there. That you just kind of just held pace and held everybody behind you. Were able to keep the field behind you and mostly Randy behind you for those last 20 laps there. What was going through your mind those last 20 laps as you were trying to keep Randy behind you?
That I needed to give him all my dirty air, and hopefully he burnt his right front enough to where I can drive away, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, like I mentioned before, you will now be the points leader. I'm unofficially as of now, but more than likely will be the points leader, and I believe you're going to have a pretty decent gap, especially with that stage win. How you feeling going into next week in Nashville for the championship round?
Well, I don't like Nashville, so not confident in the racetrack, but a little points buffer won't hurt at all for sure.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of speed out of you the last couple of weeks. Excited to see you go fight for a championship next week. And before we let you go here, get your shout out to him, my man.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone that runs the league weekly, and you guys for broadcasts, and everyone that watches the broadcast or watches a replay later during the week.
All right. Well, congratulations again on the win, and we'll see you next week in Nashville.
Thank you guys.
Kyle Ritchie doing a great job coming away with the win and able to move himself into that spot and going to lead him. So, big point swing there. If we calculate it now, he should have the points lead by at least 5 points, possibly. I think he probably got a 2x with the Kale situation, a few other things, so I don't think he's going to be able to gain there. But no matter what, we'll have that because of that. So, coming up P2 in the number 8, Randy Arms. Let's get him in here now.
You can take this one for me, Gabe. Go ahead.
Randy, do you got a copy?
I got you.
Well, come away with it. A P2 finish. I know it was kind of up and down. You were deep in the points heading into tonight, but a good little run for you there. Good points day with the stage and everything that happened.
What was that?
What? Could you not hear me? Randy?
No, there we go. I don't know what happened there. No, I couldn't hear anything.
Okay. Well, I asked you if you got a copy and you responded, so I was like, anyways.
Well, I heard that, and then you cut out, so I
Oh.
don't know if it was me or you.
Oh, I don't know. Either way, good little points day for you with the stage and finishing P2. You were down in 5th heading into tonight, but good day for you. What did you need more to go and get Kyle there at the end?
I think just track position. He was in front of me there. And I was trying to just save it for the end. And I think just the dirty air, just, I just burned up the right front just a little too much. But I got beside him there and tried to make a little push, and that was about all she wrote. So, yeah, just clean air was really big here tonight. The car was real tight on the long run. So, yeah, it's just needed that track position. So, yeah.
Well, with that, with the track position being as bad as it looked like a pretty easy race to kind of make the moves early in the race, and the later it ran, the harder it got to pass. How hard was it to make the top work compared to the bottom and pass on the bottom as good as the top was?
Yeah, as soon as you caught someone, if they just moved up, it was almost impossible to get back by them. So so you really had to make your moves early on in a run, because then once we kind of got, some wear on the tires, you was just kind of stuck, because then, they could just run the top and just kind of pinch you down. So yeah, so it was tough. Kind of had to I lost track position there after the stage. Me and Schwartz kind of got together once, had a little bit of damage, so had to fix that. So had to just fight back to the front. Which I got lucky with some other guys having some bad luck. So anyways, we'll take it. I don't know if that'll help us a whole lot in the points. We were in a pretty big hole there, so it might at least get us a little closer.
Well, either way, good day for you, and we'll be seeing you next week at Nashville. Hopefully, big swing for you next week would be incredible if you're able to get the championship, but it'll be a good one if you're able to end it off with a win. So congratulations, Randy. We'll see you next week. Oh, give your shout outs. Give your shout outs. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. I just want to thank everyone that showed up tonight. I know it's kind of hard to get some good fields towards the end of the season, and had a couple people on vacation and whatnot. So, I think the field was a little lower, but yeah, I just want to thank everyone that did show up. I have to do some recruiting of some guys that ran this year, try to get a big field next week so I can have a chance.
Well, hopefully that is the case, but congratulations on the P2 tonight, and we'll be seeing you next week.
All right, thank you.
Randy Arms there, and the guy that came home, P3. He's been fast all season long, was able to get a win. I think he's got a win earlier this season. But
I believe, I'm not sure where, but I think it was, oh God, Atlanta?
I think it may have been Atlanta. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But Ryan Taylor, do you got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Have you gotten a win this season or no? We're just
ARS.
That's right. It was ARS.
Yes.
That's right. Well, either way, you've been getting really very fast these last, I guess, 8 weeks, I guess? This whole season, we've seen a big jump in your speed. Talk to us about kind of what you've learned and why you've been so quick this last season, I guess, all year.
I would say kind of the culmination of what the end result in ARS. This track is a very good stickler for the right front, and one of the things I've been working on is saving that right front for a long run, as well as my short run speed, but more so long run. And that has been my kryptonite, and just saving for a long run. I feel like that's really helped me out the most, and understanding when it's okay to go ahead and push and when it's not. Even though tonight we pushed maybe 4 laps too early, I feel like, but I felt like I needed to get track position and try to get up there with the top 2. So,
well, you were tonight, and coming down to it, you had to hold off Matt Frady. Talk to us about that. What were you thinking of those last few laps, and how were you able to hold off Matt? I know he's one of the best late chargers in the league, but you had to hold him off there. Tell us about that, and what did you learn from that situation?
Biggest thing is like just bear down and understand you're racing the racetrack, not just the guy behind you. I could have easily overstepped myself and gotten it into the wall, or just overdriven it and gotten into the wall. I had to drive pretty defensive, had to hop it up into the high lane, which I don't feel comfortable doing. I won't lie. And hold off his late charge there, just to hold track position. Even though I'm kind of, in a sense, out of the playoffs, I kind of want to mathematically still be in there for Nashville, and I kind of think a 3rd place finish really helped put me into there. So
definitely, it definitely did help. But with that being said, give your shout outs and tell us a little bit, possibly if you want to, about your confidence heading into Nashville.
First shout out goes to my wife. Without her, I can't race in these leagues every night that I do. Second is to my teammates. These guys that are boosted confidence when you really need it. Even though the two races I had before that, I got wrecked by one of them, but that's okay. We've worked that out. We've joked around with each other enough. And third is the league and you guys putting on the broadcast to showcase how good hard racing our league is. In a very difficult car in the Oval Series, to be honest with you. The Xfinity car is not an easy one to master, and these guys put on what should have been a no yellow flag race, and hated to see it, but it came out a few times, unfortunately. But going into Nashville, I really love the track. I know some people don't really care for it. I really run pretty decent there, I would say. So confidence level in Nashville is pretty same with what tonight is. Hang around that top 5 area, maybe get a podium finish, compete for a win. So that's all I can hope for.
Well, you got a shot at it coming into next week, and we will see you then. So congratulations on the P3 tonight.
Yep, thank you, man.
Ryan Tiller with a 3rd place finish. We got time. You wanna drag him in here?
Yes, let's
I've been waiting
let's
for
bring
it.
our man into here.
Mikey, do you got a copy? Mikey? Check your mic again. Mikey.
I got a copy now.
I got you. All right. P8.
Yes, sir.
Great job. Top 10. You held off Swartz at the end. I think your best finish of the season. Am I right?
No, I finished 6th at Daytona, the one race you didn't broadcast.
That's right. True. Either way, come away with your best broadcasted finish. What
Hell
do you
yeah.
think there, bud? How are you able to get it done?
Just I got big balls, and I'm not afraid to. I don't take any shit, pretty much. I mean, I was digging on it, dude. You go back and look, every damn corner, digging on it, digging on it, digging on it, digging on it, digging on it. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm getting up there though. Don't worry, next year it's gonna be the Mikey Appreciation Tour. I promise you that.
I don't know about
Look at that. Look, he dumped it.
I don't know if you want to call it the appreciation tour. That sounds like you're going away, but either way, you're definitely showing some speed later in this season. With a P8,
Yeah, I am.
what do you think about Nashville, and how much practice are you going to do for it next week?
You want me to be honest about Nashville, Cabe?
Sure.
I've never ran a single lap there. I don't know anything about Nashville except for they got country music. They got pretty cool guitars. We're gonna get a guitar if we win.
That's up to
Are we?
Randy. I don't know.
I'll get on it. Don't worry.
You practice enough, you're going to get that guitar.
I will get it. You damn right, Cabe.
Well, congratulations on the P8. We just wanted to see what your thoughts were, and want to say congratulations on it there, bud.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks for putting on these broadcasts for us. We got one more to go.
One more. Congratulations.
Thank you, buddy.
Good job to Mikey. Well, that's going to do her. So, with all that being said, Alex, what did you think of tonight?
Man, I think it was another entertaining one. A lot of close battles, a lot of moves, just a lot of strategy. I mean, we saw it with a couple of guys, mostly in the top 5, that you could pull off a couple of different strategy moves, and it would whether it would help you out at the end of the day or it would hurt you a bunch. We saw a lot of that, but other than that, just another great race. I mean, oh God, I can't even put my words together right now, but yeah, just a great race. Fun to see a very big point swing tonight. I think we're gonna have a really close battle next week in Nashville. It's gonna be between if I could pull the points up real quick. I think it's gonna be between actually I think it's just gonna be between your Kyle and Nathaniel. I think that'll be it because we did not have Jared Lindsay, unfortunately not able to make it tonight. Jonathan Mazzella not able to make it tonight, and not mathematically out, I don't believe, but Randy Arms and Ryan Tiller will most likely be out of it. So we're gonna have a 2-car battle next week for the championship. I mean, we saw Kyle already mentioned that he's not a super big fan of the track, but wouldn't be surprised to see if Nathaniel's maybe somewhere in the middle. But yeah, but overall, great race tonight. Yeah, I think it's gonna be great leading into next week, and then we're gonna have a close battle next week.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one, and we'll. Tiller just messaged me, Mikey the Milkman Tour, so that was nice. But either way, Charlotte, good one. Congratulations to Kyle Ritchie, able to take the points lead, and we'll see if he's able to stick with Nathaniel next week to defend his points lead and take the championship away. It was Kay McClinney and Alex Chira in the booth, and we'll see you guys next week.